Hi, my name is Lily, and today I'm gonna be talking about the topic of euthanasia, and it is also my Rogerian project. So let me define what is euthanasia for you. The term euthanasia literally translates as a death in a not painful way. However, it is defined very differently in many nations. Some countries only accept euthanasia for pets. But in nowadays, the legalization of euthanasia is supported by an increasing number of countries as the society develops. So this leads to another topic. Should euthanasia be legal? As the world evolves, an increasing number of people are selecting euthanasia for a variety of reasons. The majority of the times, people choose euthanasia because they're suffering from an illness that cannot be cured. But in some cases, people are choosing euthanasia because they're suffering by mental illness. However, in most countries, euthanasia is still considered as a crime, whereas withdrawing medical assistance from a patient is seen as a legitimate act. The euthanasia of pets, on the other hand, is not specifically specified in the law. This brings me to the subject I want to talk about, which is whether or not euthanasia should be permitted. So, first of all, I'm gonna be talking about the positive aspect of euthanasia. Consider the nature as an illustration. People in China are overwhelmingly in favor of legalizing euthanasia. 86% of the population holding this view. The result of a survey indicates that 40% of those who are in favor of euthanasia believe that euthanasia can provide an honorary exit for people who are in a hopeless situation. Additionally, 34% of the people believe that euthanasia can alleviate financial burdens and prevent a scenario in which both people and money are duplicated. 20% of the people held the belief that euthanasia would make taking care of aging people easier. It is true that euthanasia can alleviate some of the suffering that those people experience. As a result, it can stop a negative situation from getting worse. In some countries, euthanasia has yet been illegalized. That caused some of the criminal cases, such as an example of a household located in Taizhou, Zhejiang, China. The mother was unable to withstand the pain, and his family decided to poison her so that she would no longer have to suffer through the symptoms of the disease by her will. Her daughter and her son-in-law and her husband was the one who were taking care of her and letting her to take the poison so that they would be accompany her till she died. But this act actually put them all in jail. Her daughter got to get into prison for 2 years, and his son-in-law was getting into prison for 3 years, and her husband getting into prison for 3 years as well. Even though it is already based on a very light penalty according to Chinese law, this judgment is still highly unfair to the family. Another point of why euthanasia should be legalized. The process of euthanasia for pets is distinct from the practice of euthanasia for human. In an animal being, euthanized cannot communicate its desire to be put to sleep. However, euthanasia is an option for pets. People are able to communicate their will to get passed away, but they are unable to make the decision to end their lives through euthanasia, which is highly unfair in my opinion. The advancement of science and technology has made it possible for euthanasia device to put an end to a human's life fast and painlessly. Since euthanasia is prohibited in most countries, the majority of the patients travel to Switzerland, the only nation which is possible for patients that is in a different country to have euthanasia. Additionally, euthanasia getting unaffordable cost for most family to have, because they have to pay for the expense to travel to Switzerland and the stay in Switzerland, and that's gonna cost a huge amount of money, not only to the patient himself but to his family. The drawback of the practice of euthanasia is another thing I want to talk about. Those who are against euthanasia feel that the medical professionals has the moral obligation to indefinitely extend their lives of the patient, and they should be doing everything in their power to save the lives of their patient. Well, it is quite understandable, like people having thoughts of like that, because once euthanasia is being legalized in the country, cases between patient and doctor will be unsolved in this situation. It is extremely immoral to perform euthanasia, which is an expression of the responsibility that a doctor has to preserve lives and treat the injured. These individuals are of the opinions that after a patient has legalized consented to euthanasia, that individual will no longer have the opportunity to recover, to continue treatment, or to develop medical treatment. And this leads to another topic: why euthanasia should be prevented. According to a survey conducted in China, 80% of the people who had moral objections to euthanasia are of the opinion that legalization of euthanasia will have an effect on the way which young people think euthanasia should be a normal way to take their lives away, and young people with depression will consider euthanasia as a way of their death. 30% of the respondents believe that there was no way to morally justify the use of euthanasia. And the reason why euthanasia is not recognized, there is a school of thought that holds that if euthanasia is legalized, hospitals will stop trying to improve their patients' quality of lives and stop providing them with better care, which is, I think, it's most people worried about. The imported use of euthanasia will result in significant social unbehaved. Those legal control over the death penalty is much more stringent than the legal treaty will governs. Concern has also raised